Okay, well, thanks for coming. I'm here with Christian.
Hello.
This is not a marketing session. I know some people were concerned it's a marketing session. It's not really marketing, honestly. It is kind of marketing a bit, but not really full marketing. That's why he's here. Okay, just kidding.
Yeah.
So, well, the idea is we are going to show you a couple tools, and the reason for that, again, it's from an RDS perspective, but you're going to see it covers pretty much everything. And the reason why we came up with these tools, it's just because the Microsoft stack is a pain in the butt. That's the bottom line. Like deploying is one thing that I try to take care of myself because of rebuilding a lab every week. It's annoying. So I said, okay, enough of the rebuilding. I'm going to write something that will rebuild for me, and it works pretty well. But then managing as well, it's a problem. For me, it works fine managing my small little lab at home. I have a bunch of VMs, maybe 10 users connected just to do simulation. But when you get into real environments, like I had one customer, for example, with like hundreds of remote apps. I don't know if you have tried that, but after you reach, there is a magical number that you probably saw the same number. When you launch the server manager and you have like around 619 remote apps, the whole thing locks up. And trust me, there is people out there with like 619 remote apps. I know it's insane, but there is people doing this. So when you get like into the thousands of remote apps, you can't manage. And if you have hundreds of remote apps, that's how you find the users. Probably you have hundreds and thousands of users. Now you're going to find the guy. And then if you are doing like user profile list, well, where is the damn profile list now? So basically there is nothing, okay, it sounds a little better again. So there is nothing out there that from Microsoft that can easily manage the environment. And that's where the second part of the presentation came. It's about building something that can manage, an environment that has hundreds of terminal servers, hundreds of published applications, and so on. So that's the main idea behind why these tools exist now. Okay? And if you were at Ignite, I don't know if anyone was there, but Benny, if you guys know Benny, he's another Microsoft MVP for RDS, Citrix CTP. He was at Ignite doing a presentation, and he actually showed like several tools developed by the community to manage the whole mess that Microsoft created. Okay. So, well, yeah, just introduce yourself.
So my name is Christian Roll. I'm from Munich, Germany. I must say this one is coming from him.
Yeah.
A long time E2E since 12 years or so.
He likes BMWs.
Yeah, I like the new ones. And Twitter account, and my sidekick here, Claudio, is also well known, I guess.
Yeah, well, some people don't make sure. That's my title. I don't have a real
well deserved, yeah.
Yes, some people think it's deserved, yes.
And like he drives own spin.
I drive home.
This came from Alex, right? The bullshit.
Yeah, not only Alex. There's more, He's one of the bullshitters.
There's a whole bunch of them here.
Yeah, several here. What?
They're called grandfathers?
Yeah, like I'm sort of a grandfather. Yeah.
It's really bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. But there's another grandfather right there.
He qualifies for that right now.
It's like the worst group of people. Alex picks these guys, and then these are the grandfathers.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
So, we stay behind one desk. This is the tool to show. So,
yeah, one thing is, as I said, one thing is building the environment. The other thing is managing the environment. So for building, well, we know PowerShell is the way to go. But if you are like on the next, you should leave the room right now, okay? Because there is no room for clicking here. So the easy way, as I said, I tried as much as I could to create something that would be easy to run, simple, small, free. You run it. How you're gonna manage, well, then it's not my problem, anymore. But at least to help people building the environment. And the download link works, it's right there. For some reason that I have an idea why it's case sensitive, it's probably some Linux bullshit at my Linux server. So if you don't type exactly like what you see there, it's not gonna work, okay? And if you email me saying the link doesn't work, I'll tell you fuck you, okay? I'm gonna make sure you understand that part. There's a capital D, and there's capital RDS, and O and M, okay? Keep that in mind.
It does not work, Claudio.
Shut up. I tried yesterday and it wasn't working.
Okay, everyone has it?
That's the link, it should work. Seriously, like if it doesn't work, let me know. Do you wanna try anyone? No? Well, so that's the tool, and download it, just take a look. I can show you if I have my laptop somewhere, yeah. But again, simple tool, the idea is you enter all the information like connection brokers, web access, gateway, and then I'm assuming, as I said, that you wanna load balance these things, so I'm gonna ask you for the VIPs, the virtual IP addresses that you wanna use. I'm gonna ask you the FQDNs that you wanna use, where your certificates are, what's the password for the certificate. And once you enter all the information, you just press one button, it's gonna create a PowerShell script that does the whole deployment, okay? And the only thing that is missing, that I know how to fix, but I just, I'm a professional bullshitter, so I didn't have the time to fix. There is that problem of, remoting PowerShell, so you can hit like, when you do an LB, if you are doing from, let's say, your machine, you can go to the first node and do whatever you want with the NLB enable and everything works. But when you go and tell that node to add a second node, there is remoting going on.
Yeah.
So you cannot, you have to use like CredSSP, so the credentials pass and then everything is fine. So I didn't add that to the tool yet, but I will add, but that's the only thing missing. So by the end of the script, if you run it, the environment is going to be up and running. The only thing you have to do is go on the gateway, just add the second node, go to the web access, add the second node, and it's done. Even the DNS, I go into the DNS server, I create the zone based on the FQDN that you provided, add the VIPs into the zone, and everything works fine internally. And again, if you read the book, you're going to see you should use the same FQDN for external access with RDS, and then everything is going to work out of the box from the outside as well. So you don't get these weird things where it works internally and then you go outside and try to make it work and you get a weird like, I don't know who is connection broker dot something dot local. This kind of error. Okay, so it fixes everything. So that's what RDS-O-Matic is building. Okay. Again, download it, run, very small, and let us know if it's working or not. It was working yesterday. Probably Remco and Gert crashed my server, stole everything already. I still have my wallet, so that's a good thing.
Maybe Vertica doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Then we have, on the management side, as I said, server manager, it may be, I wouldn't say it's fine even for small environments. I find it extremely, slow and annoying to work with the server manager on RDS. And there is stuff that is not even there. Like, as I said, if I enable UPD, well, I can see it's enabled and I can see the share where the UPD is through server manager. But I can't see anything who is using the UPD. How many users I have with UPD mounted, and who are these users? Because the UPD, as you know, it's an SID that gets into the UPD name. So all these things, now I want to mount, where is it, who is the user? There is nothing like that. So that's the reason why One Glass came to the picture, to build a simple to use console, simple console. You point to the connection broker, it retrieves all the information, and it actually works with multiple connection brokers. So if you're managing multiple environments, you can go into one tool, point to all your connection brokers, and you're gonna see all your deployments, and you can expand your deployments, you're gonna see your collections, and all the information about the collections, what applications are available, which users are connected, and you can interact with the users like remote control, messaging, everything. You can see the UPDs, which ones are mounted. You can mount the UPD locally, so you can look into the user profile, what is there. So everything from a single console. That was the main idea with One Glass. Okay? So One Glass, let's show you what we have. And some of the features, well, works with 2012, 2016. You can do multi-deployments. You can do licensing. All the settings that you would do outside, you can manage from here. Like you can set by licensing mode. Even the web access, for example. I don't know if you guys customize the web access. But if you do customization on the web access, you know how it works, right? You have to go into the web access server, modify pages and all that. It can be done directly from the tool. So you don't have to touch the web access directly, okay? The same for the gateway. The gateway, just go back one. Yeah. So the gateway, the same thing. You manage from here. One thing that we're gonna be adding, it's on the book and I explained the reason for that. I don't know if you guys tested this, but if you do a deployment using PowerShell or if you go through the next, as soon as you add a gateway, Microsoft, like most people, they don't check that, okay? But Microsoft creates an access, the cap and the wrap on the gateway. So you have who can connect through the gateway and to which resources that person can connect through the gateway. The problem is if you use the PowerShell or the GUI, by default, your gateway allows connections for all your domain users to all your domain computers. Okay? So one thing that people don't even know or they never try it, I do that all the time at my gateway just for fun to test stuff. But if you actually open your RDP client and you point to the gateway, and the gateway, if you look at DNS records for companies, most of the time someone is going to create an entry for the outside, call it gateway.something, like company, or gw.company. So if you look for the records, you're going to actually find the gateway, almost certain. And if I find your gateway, I can go on the RDP client, I can add the gateway. And now if someone gets credentials, they can just enter, I want to hit an internal computer, credentials, click, and they are in. It bypasses everything. So, I don't need to even see your web access. I just go directly straight through the gateway. So one thing that I always change, of course, is the wrap and the cap, so to avoid that. So that's one thing that we're going to be adding here to change the gateway, the settings, the out-of-the-box settings. So you can add whatever users you want. And then if we see like there is AJ enabled, AJ is a unique case on the gateway. If you ever got that error that you try to connect from the outside and you see an error saying it cannot resolve the connection broker, the issue is on the gateway, like 99% of the cases. Because you actually have to go into the gateway and tell the gateway to allow connection to a group, to a network group. The terminology is not network group per AD, it's just a group of resources that you have to add the FQDN for the gateways, for the connection broker. You have to add the RDS session hosts, and you have to add the IP addresses for the session hosts. So as soon as you add these guys as a resource group into the gateway, then you fix the connection broker issue through the gateway. But that's what you should do out of the box to prevent people using the gateway to connect back to their home PC, to their office PCs, for example. You may not want that. Some people don't care, but other companies, they're like, no, if we're going to give RDS, I wanted the user when he's outside, I wanted the user to access the RDS. But if you don't touch, as I said, the gateway, they're going to be able to go home enter their credentials, point to the gateway, and grab access to any of the PCs on the network. So just keep that in mind. So that's one thing we are fixing. So well, let's do some live demos.
The first ones are not live, afterwards.
Oh, okay, so we are gonna do video demos now.
Some of them.
Oh, they were live when you recorded them.
They were that. That's a good point.
So what we have here is an uncustomized web interface. So this is how it looks like by default. We have a couple of settings here. Where you specify your logo file and the size of your logos. Click on execute, and this is how it looks like afterwards. You have your background picture and stuff. And actually, this is real time. So it's in 3 minutes, 3 seconds, it's done. We can enter multiple of these servers and they look similar. Same thing here. It's a wrong sequence, by the way. That we create a new
You
collection.
recorded the video, not me.
Yeah, but you took one
Just blame yourself.
So we just created a new collection. Very quickly, type in the name, session host, job done. So,
There are more views. Yeah, and as I said, if you have multiple web access, that's another thing we take care of. Because if you have a web access you're customizing, you have to go through every single web access that you have, right? Because they're load balanced. So here you change in one place, it's done for all your web access servers.
so really, it's done in a couple of seconds. This is here now where we somehow import applications. We have multiple ways of doing it. We can import it from another farm. We can import it from a common start menu of an existing server or the local machine, doesn't matter. You just specify the target. So in this case, the demo collection. And yeah, on the other side, at the front, you specify the connection broker and your publish application. That's it. By default, with the GUI of Microsoft, you can't even change, after the application is published, you can't even change the icon. It's simply not possible. It's only possible by PowerShell and some other things as well.
You guys, because backend for PowerShell, do you spit it out to a log?
Yeah.
So you can
Oh, yeah.
go back to the code and see what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, on the importing, for example, we are gonna talk about licensing, how we are, because again, it's not released yet, it will be released pretty soon, and we're gonna have different licenses. But the idea is, if you want, let's say you have a XenApp environment, like a 6.5, because there are many companies considering moving from XenApp for whatever reason, could be costs, could be the fact that now RDS, it's better at the protocol level, whatever reason it is. But the tool allows you, if you want, to actually point to an existing XenApp 6.5 or 7 environment, and you will retrieve all the applications from the environment. And then I can just, select the ones I wanna, and boom, they're published on the RDS environment. So you can easily build a parallel environment for like your proof of concept or for testing that is very close to your existing Citrix environment. And without having to go through the hassle of, oh my God, let me see how many apps I have on Citrix. I have now to republish everything for the same group of users. This is taken care of by the tool. We can retrieve all the apps, we can retrieve the users that are assigned to the apps, and we can bring these in one click to the RDS environment. So you can, migrate for testing or for production in a matter of like minutes, really. Okay?
You can even use the same server deployment of your Citrix, existing Citrix servers. If you have a deployment system, just leave the Citrix software, that's it. Or disable the services. Job done. So the proof of concept is really done with your existing Citrix infrastructure. Install a couple of new servers, uninstall the Citrix software, or disable it, and then run this. And then you have a one-to-one environment. You can compare. So this is how it looks like. Hope you can see it. At the top, I type in the XenApp 1 server. It's a 6.5. It checks in the background what technology it is, and we split the technology from the actual action. And then you have all the published applications. It sucks out all the permissions what you specified, the target groups, if it is a server or a group or whatever in the background, And what we can do, we can even save the complete publishing settings to a file. So you can use it as a backup as well, or you can reload it afterwards for another farm, or pass it over to your data center colleague or something.
Yeah, if you want to move like stuff between environments, you know, you don't want to republish everything on a second environment. You can just suck from one, export to the file, import to the other environment, and you are done.
And there it is.
Suck, the right word there.
What?
Is suck, the right word.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not British. So.
We noticed.
So what we're doing here is we split the technology from the action itself and from the pure data. So the publishing is always a pain in the ass. So it's not really nice. It's a loop, yes. What we also can do is you can drag and drop your applications from the desktop or a complete group of applications from the start menu into the GUI, and it extracts all the data for the applications, and then you can change it, save it to a file as a backup, or pass it over to your colleagues, say, at Sunday night, load this thing and import the applications, change the settings. It's easy. You show later live.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
This
wanna
is your
show,
model.
wanna show the demo, the live demo first? And now it's real live demo. So don't expect it to work.
This is how it looks like in real life. On the left, you have your management objects. Here you have your multi-farms, if you have something.
I just want to mention one thing here. On the left, as you see, you can see like application publishing, that's the first item, and then RDS environment, and then there's a VM management. What happens here is, as I said, it's all built into modules. So it's completely modular. The RDS version of this would not have the VM management. So a week ago, I was in Seattle at Microsoft, and I showed the RDS team, this, and then they were like, "Oh, can you create like a Microsoft version?" Because we actually want to use with Hyper-V, and we want to use with Azure. So yeah, we added, 2 modules on this Microsoft version, Microsoft Edition as we call it. So if you have the Microsoft Edition, you can not only do the RDS stuff, the management, but you can point to Hyper-V, to SCVMM, Azure, and then you have everything here. So you can actually do the VM deployments as well. So you can build the environment from here. And you can build on Azure, you can build on
We can use the SCVMM as well. Even a better tool for SCVM.
Well, it's a better tool for, all the Microsoft prep. So just want to mention that again, what you see on the left, it depends on what edition you are going to have. Okay, what type of license you have.
Okay. What I do now is, in the background, I have 2 empty, what is running here, 2016 server. That's it. What we do, we create now an RDS deployment. Just type in the name of the connection program. For the web access, for the session host. And if you want to have a license server, we can do it. And we can specify a workspace name. If you want to specify more servers, just make a comma and add new servers with the role. So you can do it in one dash. So, and now this is live. So it checks if any of these servers needs a reboot and stuff like that, and checks if the FQDN names are working properly, because I didn't provided some. And it takes a few minutes to build.
That's one important thing here that I want to mention, okay? With RDS-O-Matic, I don't make mistakes, so I never check for any errors, okay? That's my motto. So if you type stupid shit, it's your problem. I don't check if you're typing, spelling right, if the server is alive or not. I don't check anything. I assume you know what you are doing, okay? So there is no error checking of any sort on any code that I write. And it works actually, because I'm writing the code. But, if you try and you do something wrong, well, it's your problem.
And what, you have a little window here where you can see exactly what the status is of PowerShell script, and I don't know if you leave it forever, but even the whole command is being displayed.
Yeah, we check for errors here, okay, just want to make clear. But
Is
this
that because
is
someone else
being,
wrote that bit? Is that because someone else wrote that bit, not you?
yes, that one.
And usually on this machine, it should take around about 3 minutes to get it done.
So we still have 50 seconds.
Hopefully, yeah, this we will see if
Yeah,
the
it
live demo
works.
works or not. Any questions so far? Nothing? It's good.
Yeah. I think they assume it just works.
We have a special free E2EC edition.
Yeah, that's a good question, and we actually, yes, we're gonna give the tool away for E2E attendees. You know, because I know when you leave, you feel this is a cheap conference, so we try to make it up for Alex. We actually give stuff away. If I could, I would give you money, but no, I can't.
But you can give him this.
No, that's a cheap pen that Alex bought. So you go home and you don't feel that bad, you got something out of it. That's the goal.
Correct. So, coming almost to an end.
3 minutes.
3 minutes are predictable. 3 minutes 6 or something.
Now it's yellow, it's taking more than 3 minutes.
What about the user custom part? Is that just for yourself to change the view of the tool, or is it something else?
No, actually the user custom, it's all about, you can bring your own PowerShell code to do whatever you want as well.
Ah, okay.
So then you add it there and, you know, then you can run what is there against your servers and so on.
Correct. Yeah, so there's a couple of lines of PowerShell code that you enter into your script, just 5 or 6 lines, and then you can use the
It's done.
GUI. Oh, yeah, it's done.
So yeah, 3 minutes and a bit.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then you have a connection broken and stuff like that. And if you go to the server manager, this is what I said, it sucks because you have to go to add servers, add the whole servers of the deployment of each and everything. If you have a virtualization host, if you have a license server, you all have to add here to your environment. So, and if you have multi-environments, it's not possible to reload. Yeah. What we can do also here is that we configure a certificate. What do you show you? You can do one for all. Just type in the certificate password and click configure certificate settings. You can also apply the high availability settings. So most of the fancy stuff is pre-configured, so you just need to enter a couple of information what is left. You need to have an SQL database, so it's mandatory in this case. You can change the workplace name, you can add deployment servers. You can also show the collections, the connections of the collections. But here there is no, actually.
No one connect.
Yeah.
Didn't you put in RDS table 3?
Huh?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he didn't refresh pointing to the connection broker, that's the problem.
Yep.
You just have to re-add,
Let's see.
yeah.
Should have been done
So
also.
he's gonna point to 3, yeah. But the other one is for the 2012 environment.
A bit too fast. I think, as I say, this is a live demo from the new environment. It seems not to work. To get the data in. It worked in before. Oh, it does not.
Well, if you refresh the configuration, because it's on the old one.
No, it's not here.
It's pointed to the old one.
Yeah.
You have to delete it.
Yeah. It's the same, it really looks exactly the same, so from the view, you wouldn't see the difference between if it is a 2016 or 2020. It's a live thing. It looks the same when you then import applications and stuff. Here you see, you can unpublish them here, or if you go into publishing, what you can do is you can drag and drop the applications in. It sucks out the stuff. Whatever it is. You can go, say, to the file location from the start menu. I don't know if you've ever done it with multiple applications to publish them. It takes you a lot of time. You can drag the whole folder in, and it gets out the whole thing. Same as in Azure, Open 13. Yeah. And all you have to do in this case, if you need to change something, you can do it. This is no problem. You have to type in here the connection broker to what do you want to publish. In this case, HTML3. And of course, you don't want to do it for each application. You can do a right click and then apply to selected or to all. In fact, you can, for example, publish these couple of applications to one file in one try, and these other applications to another file. And if you have the full version, you can use the same thing even for Citrix as well. So you can do one publishing for multiple technologies, multiple forms. Then you can specify the permissions here. Put AES users, for example, and specify a target. In this case, this is a collection where you want to publish it in, for example. Yeah, all you have to do is to say execute. But it's not. It makes it
show
more
you the PhD as well, because it's pretty cool.
Why don't you have to, you already manage the environment, right? Don't you have drop downs or selection boxes for existing connections you already have? You type it in, but if you make a typo, you redo it.
Yeah, it's on the plan.
Yeah.
It's on the plan.
Good feedback.
Good. Let's see. You want what do you
Well,
want?
click on the collection to see, do we have VHDs enabled on that one?
Not here. Let's see. Ah, yeah, we have. This is it.
And so you see all the VHDs that are in use, and you're gonna check who is mounted, like which VHDs are mounted. So in this case, there are none, because there's no one connected. And then you can just mount the VHD and mount it locally on that machine. So if you open your Explorer, go to the drive, you have the VHD mounted right there.
And this is pretty handy.
Again, the idea is to make the whole RDS management easier. But there's like many shortcomings on the Microsoft offering. Even on 2016, you'll see, like if you come tomorrow to my presentation on 2016, you're gonna see there are, improvements. But that's one area they have not touched whatsoever.
Like DFS, will you be, is it supported now in 2016?
Or still should it? So we see the management, it is lacking, even on the latest release. So building is one thing, but not being able to manage, if you go past a certain number of users or applications, it becomes a real problem.
And here you see the unconfigured web interface, and as I see in the video, you can even go to the pixel level for your logo, that it looks nice. You can do much more here if you want. You can even show or disable the domain necessary, that you don't need to enter the domain in the background. You can say yes, no, then you have to predefine a value. You can directly connect to a different, you can redirect the whole thing. Yeah, you can easily exchange everything in the background. You just, let's see, configure web access. And actually, that's it. So because there is no certificate in it, it takes a couple of seconds to get it done, to restart. But that's it. Then you can log in, publish applications.
Microsoft could have done this already.
Well,
You can do it if you have lots of time to go into the ASPX files and stuff like that and figure out what to change and so on. So I don't know why they don't do it.
but it's the same story with any other vendor, right? Like if we look at Citrix, there is a
Storefront customizing, yeah.
the RDS group, most people don't know, but it's a small group of people. When you go to Redmond and you see the guys there, it's like, it's not bigger than this room. It's really just a bunch of people working on this. And okay, you can understand like, oh yeah, small group, they cannot deliver it. You always think, well, it's a, $100 billion company, whatever it is, so they should have the resources. But regardless, they don't have for whatever reason, so it's a small group. But when you get into Citrix, that only does this, that's all they do, right? All day long, they do this. And you see things like, stupid things like we were talking today. You get into a NetScaler, you want to change your password as a user. Well, what about the password policy? Why the damn NetScaler doesn't show me the password policy out of the box? And prevents the user from clicking, OK or next if you don't match the password policy. It's something you would think, a $5 billion company would develop in maybe, 2-3 days at the most. No, it's not there, to this day. So it's a similar thing with every single vendor. VMware View, that I had the displeasure of dealing a couple times with the Horizon. Okay, it works in ways, but it's like certain things, it's completely stupid. And you are looking at that and you are like, wow, another multi-billion-dollar company and someone didn't take the time to, install something and not throw an error message saying that something is not installed. That kind of terrible experience. So Microsoft is on the same boat. But again, it's a small group and they chose not to do certain things. Now their idea is, let the partner network expand the platform and all that stuff. Well, okay, sure, we'll do it. But again, they could have done a much better job in many little things on RDS, but it's not there.
Well, this works, but with the server manager, it doesn't work out of the box. By even shadowing and controlling stuff.
Yeah, everything is
Look
built
out the
in.
user.
Again, it's meant to be that simple, that's the bottom line. I don't like stuff that is complex, that I have to install, 1,000 different things. So that's simple. It's one console. You can manage everything, multiple environments from one single console.
And for managing perspective, if you have your first or second line stuff, you have tons of users with the sits for the games and stuff like that. Do you need to be full admin in order to connect and get everything out? Or can you just drill down and only those users are allowed to share those and this?
This is still possible. Usually you do this via group policies. Yeah. So we rely on this as well. But also you can specify specific connection credentials sorry, to connect to the farm.
Yeah.
So if you as a user don't have the permissions to do it, there can be a kind of service account used in the background. So even first level colleagues
so
also
that
can
you
do
just
something.
check what
If you're allowed.
you're allowed to do and only show the other part.
Correct. So you can even run these connection boxes here without the one glass. So you can if you have multiple collections of farms or whatever, you can just open these applications, leave them run as a monitor in the background and see what's happening. You can sort here, so session state or collection name, you can group whatever you want. Okay. So even, so here's the application what I'm just pass. It took so long time to run because there are no certificates installed. And the main, the root certificate that I have on this machine is from a different domain. So this is why it takes so long in this case. So I can say, okay, log off the user, ask you. You can even here do a bunch log. So you can select multiple users and say log off or send message or into shadow control, if you like.
If you see something that we should add, this is a view one, right?
Can you put session notes and maintenance?
Yeah, sure.
If you
This is
think,
all PowerShell.
This is PowerShell in the background, yes.
If we need to add, I don't know, if you want to have a delegation of some sort or some filtering, whatever it is, like, just let us know. We'll try to get into the tool.
Yeah, but also what you see here on the right side, this is a little extra now. Every single of these actions you can change or add or delete if you have something. Because there is an expert mode, if you started with admin, they can even change what you can see here or add your own scripts or your own actions if you would like to. Everything is configurable.
Yeah, out of the box, it should do most of the stuff that we think need. You need to do, some crazy stuff that you have, it can be added. But as I said, the goal is to be simple. And we added some stuff that is common, like, you want to ping a server, or you want RDP to the server, that kind of stuff. I want to see the services running on the server. You can see all from here. So you just click on the RDS session host and the connection broker, click services, and boom, you see all the services running on that machine. You see if the machine is available, you can RDP from there. So it's, again,
Even the integration
Easy.
control app is available. If you have control app installed on this machine, or they have installed, you can click on it here and it points you directly to the server. And yeah, checkpoints do we have as well. So if you want to revert it, this VM. It just tells you here's a bigger one. I think usually the thing is a bit bigger. You see which one you can select and click on OK and then it's getting reverted. Same actually works with VMware as well. But this is then the full version.
Yeah.
The enterprise version. Where you can have Citrix standalone, VMware standalone hosts, or vCenter where you can just implement and work on them.
even Zen server.
And Xen server as well.
If you don't like yourself and you run the Zen server,
Correct.
we can help you for even worse.
And if you want to create VMs, you can do it also in multiple way. So, okay, want to have 10 VMs, give them a name.
Anyone runs Zen server?
Say, what is it?
I can see you're sad.
David is not sure where to go.
I had a very painful migration from Zen server to
Yeah.
Hyper-V.
Okay.
At least you were able to migrate.
Because you run Zen server.
Yeah.
Xen server or Hyper-V? What was the problem? Xen server or Hyper-V?
Well, getting from
Not getting.
Zen to Hyper-V,
Yeah.
exporting to
Yeah.
VHD and all that stuff.
But what we do here is we have the same wizard for all the hypervisors. So it looks the same. And even if you have the deployment system in the background, we can pass this new machine to DSM, MBT, SCCM, and you can create then the deployment stack in the background.
Can you work with templates?
You mean VM template for VMware?
Yeah.
Yes, sure. I have the server here at this.
Yeah, okay. So you can do all things like disabling the full video, that kind of crap.
Yes. It shows you the data centers you're connected to and the data stores and networks and all what you need to create a VM.
Oh, I guess that's it on the live demos. Let's go back. I don't know for how long we have.
5 minutes, I think it's 2 left. So, any more questions so far?
So this is a completely free tool. Like your,
For E2E attendees, if it's gonna be free, yes.
If it works.
Very
I
good.
use it anywhere like that. I honestly, I don't leave a ship where you use it. Hold it and use it, you know, at the office and break everything. Sure, I'll do it.
There's no
Where
errors.
do we have it?
Can you explain the licensing stuff?
Yeah, the licensing, again, the idea is started with RDS in mind, right? So the basic license allows you to manage RDS. So you can point to your RDS, it assumes it's up and running in the environment, and then you can do what we showed, like, you know, customize web access, see my connected users, structured applications, and all that. On the second license, the second tier of licensing, you see standard enterprise and platinum. We are original. Yeah, I want to be sued by Citrix. That's my main goal at one point. So the idea is on the second level, you get access to deploying VMs. So then you can point to whatever hypervisor you have and it's done. The final licensing is, okay, let's go and enable everything. So then you can not only do, you know, on premises, you can go cloud, you can connect to anything, Citrix, RDS, VMware, whatever it is.
Azure, Amazon.
Yeah, so that's the idea. The idea is first one manages, second one manages and allows on-premises deployment. Third level allows everything everywhere. So that's the idea. And then because of Microsoft, they asked us for this Microsoft edition. So I don't know if it's because of they're gonna use it internally, if it's because they wanna push to potential customers, point them to the tool. I'm not sure, but they asked it for a Microsoft edition. So that one covers Microsoft only. So you can do RDS, you can do Hyper-V, you can do everything. So you can't, you know, go to Citrix or AWS or whatever from that one.
And
So that's pretty much it, licensing wise. And price wise, we're discussing, but my idea always regarding prices, if you don't know the history, like Parallels 2X was my company before. So I had all the intellectual property and everything, and then 2X acquired my company, and I became the CTO at 2X for a couple of years, and then Parallels acquired me. So my goal always when developing tools was, you know, do something that was simple, but at the same time that would be affordable. Not something that, you know, it's gonna cost you 10 grand to deploy. So that's not the goal. So we are still discussing, but the idea, I think it's gonna be something that, you know, where the basic license gives you access to a certain number of hosts, no matter what the roles are for these hosts. And then you just buy, you know, license specs just to add more hosts to the environment. So should still be pretty affordable. So that's the main idea.
should I point out that we also can deploy Citrix environments with it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I pointed out now. So we can do the same thing with Citrix environments as well. But it's not shown here.
We'll keep it, you know, cheap so I can keep buying old BMWs. Maybe he needs the new BMWs, then we may increase the price. That's not my.
Microsoft edition.
Yeah. Well, the Microsoft edition may cost more money.
Yeah.
So,
So if you try it out and have any feature requests or so, please drop us a note. We will be happy to implement the requests as soon as possible. And if it makes any sense at all,
yeah.
well, yeah. So please don't be shy. Tell us what you like and what you don't like or what need to be better. We're working on it every day, so it will.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That's it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.